texted if I wanted to stop, I would've let it go. But I get it, it's alright, 'cause I can't keep my shit together. Safe, you can't debate that. Don't want shit to get better, 'cause it made me forget it all and I hate that. Last summer, everything was easy. We had it all, didn't we, baby? No wonder you couldn't keep it. It got harder than you thought it would be. You stopped loving me on the dark nights. Now you won't kiss me in the sunlight. Last summer, I know you leave me, 'cause loving me is the easy. You know what strings to pulling me that make me bend and break. You know how to feed my dark side. You hook me in like bait. Then in one split second, I'm like honey in your hands. I know that we'll never be perfect, so could you make me understand? Yeah, yeah. Happiness needs pain, like the ground needs rain, and fire breathes flame like I need you. Victory needs a fight, like the dark bleeds light, and wrong craves right like I need you. I know how to push your buttons now, so I can get my way. Yeah. And I know which words will cut the most, and how to turn and make you stay. And in one split second, you can barely catch your breath. And you know that we'll never be perfect. It's easy to forget. Happiness needs pain, like the ground needs rain, and fire breathes flame like I need you. Victory needs a fight, like the dark bleeds light, and wrong craves right like I need you. So wrap your arms around me now, with all your hopes and all your doubts, like you need me. And tell me now that it's all worth it. I don't care if we're not perfect, I wouldn't change a thing. If it was all or nothing, then I would want it all. Happiness I need you. I live a life without a meaning. I live a life without a sense. Once you've opened up my eyes, I started healing. It made me find another chance. So I tried to survive all the pain inside my mind, but only God knows how to leave it all behind. We were bound at the start, now you're tearing me apart, and I'm the one to start the fight from once upon a time. Will I just keep floating away from this world? Pick me up, give me hope, let me say one more word. Heaven's so far away tonight, but where the water meets the sky, we'll be alright. The world we left behind. The world we knew just started changing. The world we had just broke apart. We were bound at the start, now you're tearing me apart, and I'm the one to start the fight from once upon a time. Will I just keep floating away from this world? Pick me up, give me hope, let me say one more word. Heaven's so far away tonight, but where the water meets the sky, we'll be alright. The world we left behind. Heaven's so far away tonight, but where the water meets the sky, we'll be alright. The world we left behind.
I need another story, something to get off my chest. My life gets kinda boring, need something that I can confess. Till all my sleeves are stained red from all the truth that I said. Come by it honestly, I swear. Thought you saw me wink, no, I've been on a break. So tell me what you want to hear, something that'll light those ears. Sick of all the insincere, I'm gonna give all my secrets away. It's time, don't need another perfect life. Don't care if critics ever jump the line. I'm gonna give all my secrets away.
Welcome in. It is Tuesday. We are here. I'm joined by Regulus, or Aaron as we know him, the sexy mofo we have here next to me. He's got all the stats ready to go, and we have Team Comrade against Team Witch J. Now we've actually got Team J against kind of Team J with J observing as well. there's tons of Jay seem to be around. But Aaron, how are you doing on Tuesday? Are you hot and sweaty?
I am disgustingly hot and sweaty. I can confirm, Beanie. It is lovely to be here, though, in your beauteous company. As per usual, I am so excited to be on the cast today and to be witnessing what I'm sure will be some peak TGH League of Legends between these two very competitive teams.
Yeah, so each and every week, Lloyd does a fantastic job in trying to make sure all teams are kind of balanced here and there. Now, we have tried to, over the past 3 or 4 weeks, I think it's been nearly 5 or 6 now, we've been running these, actually trying to match the people who are sort of master or high level or high elo, should we say, in off roles, and trying to match those sort of like bronze and sort of like, I was going to say a certain word, but I didn't want to say it, but low, should we say? You know exactly what I was going to say.
Below the belt. Below the belt.
Yeah, just a little bit lower. Than sort of plat or gold, etc., and looking to match them against each other in their own lane. So it makes it a little bit more fair. But we do have a Masters in here. Flat Girl, we've seen them around quite a lot. That AP Twitch really done work on Witch J's team. And then we've got 2 kind of plats against some silver. So a little bit of a mismatch here in terms of like team skill, I should say.
I mean, you can say that. I mean, obviously, the beauty of Skirmish is that we do have the mixed ability. Something like the Twitch is something which sort of needs to get going. So I'm sure it's something which Team Witch Jay will be looking to really enable coming into this matchup. If the Twitch does get through the pick and ban, of course, I'm sure that the other team has already OPGG checked everything that the enemy team could be thinking about. So whether or not we'll actually see the Twitch make it onto the Rift definitely remains to be seen.
There's one we need to kind of talk about straight away, and Witch Jay, in the last game, I just saw the clip actually in our Discord clip of the month for the league, which is a little competition we run each and every month, and you get to win some fabulous honks and some Red Bull, which is pretty much what they're winning today as well. Obviously, this is a semi-final. We have the final coming up later, but Witch Jay on that Alawi, I don't know how he stayed alive whatsoever in this clip, but got into a pentakill in the first game. So really thriving off that, and I reckon the Alawi ban straight away. But you had something about the top lane as well.
I mean, the top lane is a classic matchup against carry-oriented laners. Traditionally, Jay obviously was on the Alawi the last game, but this man loves his Jax. But, comrade, this guy knows how to carry, whether it's on the Camille, the Fiora, put him on any carry and he will deliver. So whether or not we're going to see the Jax pick banned, that remains to be seen. Whether or not they'll let Jay have it, let Comrade just go, yeah, it's his carry pick, but he's still lower than me. We got to see it. We're going to see a battle of the egos, I hope, in the top lane, and I think that lane is going to be the one to watch. It's going to be explosive.
Maybe a bloodbath. Yeah, let's see it. Yeah, great work from Prod here. We're going to actually see this clip straight away. Jay on this Alawi for this pentakill, and you're going to see this straight away. Gets the 1 or 2 quite quickly. Milk is going to... Milk clip this, so by the way, so Milk, thanks very much for the hero play. Milk's gone in here. You see the Alawi coming in. This is not where you fight an Alawi straight away, okay? TV'd out. Probably going to ult right now, so the tentacles are doing its bits. Now, we are looking for Milk, so he is going to be looking elsewhere. Kind of on their own here, right? The tentacles slapping down, but going to get down to low HP, and you're going to see that just about now as the Karina comes in. Shield coming out from Seraphine there, really doing this work, I think, from Kersey.
Wow.
Gets the second, gets the fourth, and now have to chase this Cassante down. Now, Cassante here, obviously within the ult, has got hardly any armor. And Magic Resist does land that W. Still trying to fight them. Cassante nearly getting away. W through for the Penta. I think it's one of our first Pentas we've had in here. Great work from Prod, by the way, there. Tex and Jay, fantastic effort for that, as that was literally probably from me saying it. They've just got the clip up, so incredible work. But, Jay, that was kind of clean. Obviously, the Seraphine there, great shout from Kersey on that little shield, just saved the life. But you said about this, it's going to be explosive. The bloodbath it's going to be. But if Malawi makes it through, what would you counter Alawi with? In ranked games, we see it. We're like, yeah, cool. I'm never going top lane.
I mean, Alawi is just one of those lanes where, if you're a melee matchup, you just really don't want to be anywhere near her at any point. It can become very uncomfortable very quickly, especially if your wave management's not on point, especially if your waves are pushed up towards either, towards their tower, if they're pushing towards your tower, those tentacles go down. it becomes very uncomfortable very quickly. For me, I don't play a lot of top lane, so I wouldn't be too sure what the exact counters in the situation are. I would personally prefer to just play something ranged, but then again, I'm an ADC player, so I like me my marksman.
You say range top, that's hurting straight away as a battable offense, pretty much.
Yeah, it's dishonorable. It's dishonorable if we see the Queen come out, if you see anything like that. It's dishonorable into the Alawi. However, whether or not that's a good matchup is something I don't have the exact insight on, I must say. But for me personally, that is how I would perhaps start to approach it in my humble opinion.
No, see, it is a skirmish, so it is the 5v5. So some of these players, and I'm silver gold, and I actually prefer doing flexes on 5v5s. I look at team comps and things, totally different to our normal rank games, because you actually pair people up. Let's say, like I said, jungle. So if I've got melee people with me, it gets my passive going a lot more. That's the kind of thing you can do in these. But team comp wise, if we looked before, so we had, things like the Lucians come up twice in sort of our games. Vexes have come up that 2 or 3 times as well. But I think we're actually going into champion select in a second. So is there anyone particular that you're looking at to really get this ball rolling?
Yeah, I mean, I personally think that Comrade, for me, is a player to watch, but Q-Kit and Colon, they were cooking up something fierce on the Karthus tech last game, so it could come from anywhere.
Karthus jungle, it's not something you see that often. Obviously, I think you said ran exhaust, like, you just know you're going into and probably die. Actually, probably quite squishy, but because of that passive, you'll just be blowing people up with your Qs, especially with an exhaust. You're not going to get anywhere. So as we get into draft here, we're still on cams. This is good. This tech coming out from the Goose House prod is just insane. So incredible work. So what we're going to say now is that, bear in mind, we have top, jungle, mid, bot, and support. It's not going to actually show who's what where. So we're going to have to make that up ourselves as we look at the bans very quickly. The Jax, the Twitch, the Fiora, the Riven, the Karthus, and an Alistair.
Interesting. The Alistair, the Respect. Let's have a quick look. Is that something that we've seen come out of
The Seraphine first
Inter?
pick, though, is something that I can see.
The Alistair is very much a Respect ban here. Yep, Inter has more games than Alistair than any other support champion this season. So it's definitely a Respect ban to what is probably going to be quite the beefy cow, which fortunately has been tenderized, filleted, and taken off the rift.
So we're going to see the MF come out. I think that's potentially for who this person is here, L'Oreal, which is actually Kersey. Kersey being our lowest ranking in this. Oh, the VMix has just gone down. There we go, come back.
Okay.
So the Seraphine first pick was something that's been picked up quite a few times, actually, over the past couple of weeks. When I was in there, I played it mid. It was not my role, but the Seraphine can really pick out quite quickly the ease. The shields that we saw there straight away as well. The ult can be huge, as well as we're going to see a Rek'Sai come out, which is something that you actually had in your patch notes.
Yeah, so I mean, when I've been looking at Rek'Sai this patch, I feel like she is actually in a very, very strong spot, up there with the likes of Jarvan. She can get around the map really quickly. She can apply a lot of pressure to lanes, and I think that she's a pick that's actually going to crop up more, especially as we head into the new patch tomorrow. As you said about the Seraphine first pick is beautiful to me. She is a multi-role flex pick. Obviously, she can be taken in the mid lane. She can be taken as an APC, as a support. Just a really, really good pick. Obviously, they pick up the Zeri on the second pick there. So perhaps not towards the APC. Perhaps we're looking at a Zeri Seraphine style bot lane, which, of course, stick Zeri with an enchanter and let her cook. Basically,
go on, Zeri.
That's all it is.
Needs to be termed. That's happening in the Red Bull Lounge at the moment, or the League One channel at the moment as well. So Kindred picked up as well. So two quite aggressive junglers going to go head to head here. Totally different to the Karthus pick that Cute Kitten obviously had before. So what would you kind of pick out here? You'd pick your support here. Yeah, Nautilus coming down nice and heavy. Try to pick on that Zeri and make sure she can't disappear. Okay,
so we're going to see a lot of mid-top bans come through now in the second round of bans. So far, I think that the Witch J team draft has perhaps a touch more stability to it. Obviously, Kindred minigame is going to be really, really important. But clearly, Kitten had a really solid showing last game in the jungle, put up top damage numbers. So this is a pick that I'm sure that they're also very, very comfortable on, and something which they might be able to cook up something special with.
Tristana, so they're worried about Tristana mid here. Obviously, quite a lot of AD though. So the fact that obviously we've got the Camille ban as well, I think potentially respecting that. I really hope after your hype for the top lane, we don't just get a Scion Ornn or something along those lines, and it's just a tank slapper. Cassante could very much come out still. Cassante's very much still up, especially on the side of Witch J with the Naught hook, then the Rek'Sai going in as well, and then a Cassante. That's a very dive comp, but then you're going into a Kindred ult, so it could not go in your favor, but the Lulu ban now as well.
Yeah, I mean, the Karthus ban coming through. What else have we got coming through here? We have the Camille ban, we've got the Lulu ban. Wasn't super sure about the Lulu ban, I must say. It might
be because of the Seraphine mid. You kind of said it earlier.
Possibly.
And there's the Alawi.
And there's the Alawi, yeah. So obviously just taking the Lulu out just to make sure that there's no Zeri Lulu shenanigans. Melio is up, of course, so whether or not we get a double enchanter sort of match up there with two carry-oriented marksmen for Comrade's team will be very, very interesting to see. Kennen comes through. Whoa, I have been enjoying some Kennen recently, let me tell you. My ARAM games,
yeah,
jeez.
We were in some the other day, and it was, we were cooking big time. I can't remember who I was on, actually. We were trying to combo it, weren't we? So, that was... Kennen's damage right now, I think, especially if he gets ahead early, is just stupid. And then you're always scared about that dive in. Around objectives, you're worried about what's coming in. And this new Xin Zhao. So, Xin Zhao mid or top Kindred. This is a bit of a weird flex coming out.
So the thing is that Kennen can also be taken into the mid lane. So whether or not this is a mid lane pick or a top lane pick, which would perhaps necessitate something like the Cassante coming through, as we've seen, especially at MSI, Cassante is very efficient at taking Kennen out of those fights. But I guess we're about to see the Malphite.
There was no real front line in that side, so I was wondering there with the Xin Zhao. I did say the Ornn as well coming through, so right now, the side that you see Milkyard obviously on that Rek'Sai, that's a scary team. The dive potential on that, the Ornn knock-up, the Nautilus knock-up, Rek'Sai diving in on that Zeri after that she's tried eating away. It looks dangerous. I'm wondering about the team comp on the side of Monster Buff and Jay, Bossman, Q Kitten. Like, it's a weird team comp for me.
It's got a bit of box A, bit of box B in it. It'll be very interesting to see how these comps come out. I'm personally really heartbroken that Conrad and Jay aren't going at it on carries, but I guess the early Jax ban kind of confirmed some of my fears. Nonetheless, I like the Ornn pick. Ornn, I feel, is a really solid pick, and hopefully will help his team out, especially as we hopefully scale later into the game, as we head into it.
So straight onto the riff we go, and are we looking at like an LPL LCK kind of stuff? 5-man bot? This is something that you don't normally see. Obviously, you got the Nautilus coming in. As we know, Braduth currently playing D&D, but normally our Nautilus main, shall we say, and they're looking to go through. Now, I wonder if Seraphina's taken a skill yet. I normally sit and wait until I start seeing people. Jay's definitely spotted that, but we seem to have a disconnection on that.
It's a good flash. It's a good flash.
The Xin Zhao's back, so the tech pause wasn't really needed. But flash use, so 5 minutes on that, but not really going to matter unless they're going to do like a level 3 gank potentially in the bot lane. You want to get this Rek'Sai ahead early, but you also want to make sure the Kindred isn't just farming your jungle as they can.
Absolutely. Also, observers, if it's possible, I don't know if you can on this client, but would you be able to rearrange it so that we've got everyone in their roles just on the scoreboard at the bottom? That would be fantastic if we can.
Okay.
Lovely. So just confirmation. Yeah, so just confirmation that we've gone into a little bit of a tech pause here.
I think there's some disconnection there on the Xin Zhao. So happened a couple of times pre-game, and they're just trying to sort it out now. But the flash already being used, unless there is that level 3 gank. Now, we don't see that. As someone who was a jungle main the last season, you saw the sort of blue grump red straight into top side, or even red wolves blue. Potentially grub, because you can get it done quite quicker now with your little Pokemon, and then straight into the bot side. Bot side's been a huge prio so long. This top side now is looking a bit of a tank slap. So would you prioritize this bot lane now, even though it's probably your weaker side?
I mean, to be honest, you see a squishy enchanter without flash in your brain. If in your little monkey jungler brain, you are probably thinking, "Wow, I need to get me on that." Milk obviously is on Rek'Sai, a champion that can be very, very creative in how she approaches the lane with her tunnels. So look, at this point, you just let the top laners cook on their island. Perhaps put some pressure towards the mid lane. Some early aggression here from the Xin Zhao onto the cannon, but it's matched with a good trade back. Yeah, if I was the Rek'Sai, I would definitely be looking to bot, and obviously that bot lane will now have to play quite passively, perhaps to avoid the gank, which could then open the Rek'Sai up to some potential.
Level 2, looking for other pots coming out from Flatgoers. Shrek has gone down incredibly low, and a little bit of disrespect coming out because obviously the range versus melee, but that E coming straight on as a flash coming out on his first blood straight away. Flatgirl does use the flash as well, so the cannon getting the level up, and the issue with Kennen here can't really push this wave in, so no TP on the Xin Zhao, so the Xin could potentially lose quite a bit, but both junglers pathing opposite directions here, and I'm wondering if they both know about this. The Rek'Sai pathing down, but Inter and Kersey, I'm just going to say MF as Kersey, as we do know who they are, coming in, top side is pushing, so both junglers pathing to a side where they probably can't really gank.
Yeah, it is. I feel like Xin Zhao showed a little bit of disrespect there to the cannon. You're in the range matchup. You're always going to feel that early pressure, and it's really easy to just feel like you need to make a play, get up in their face, try and assert some presence on the lane. But against someone like Black Girl Enjoy, who is clearly a very, very skilled player, they just kind of, ease their way into that matchup. They're now up. They've just headed back, picked up a blasting wand on that first base, which is already a really strong spike, and then they just TP back into lane, and now this lane is going to be really, really difficult for the Xin Zhao to operate in. So the onus will be on obviously the jungler to try and come and rescue at some point, or just let it go.
Yeah, so no flash on this Seraphine means straight away it goes down. Milk does give it over to the ADC. Going to use that tunnel to potentially go away. The ward may have not spotted them in time, as you're going to see the Rek'Sai goes underground. It's a little bit less of a pixel to potentially see on your map, maybe. Not really. My map is at like 100 times big, so I can kind of see absolutely everything. I don't miss a beat, and I shout at people when they don't look at their map. But this is what you were talking about, the Rek'Sai using a tunnel straight away to go through the flash. Inter comes in with the hook as well, and flashing into Milk. Milk pops up out of the ground, cues him in the face, and a great double gank. Re-gank is what you don't normally see sometimes, but the communication coming out is big, and Kindred is in this bot side, so already backed. But 1 assist, 29 farm. Milk is definitely piling on the pressure nice and early.
Yep, and it's exactly what we sort of spoke about at the start, where that Seraphine flash was down. That wave just gets a little bit too close to the enemy tower, and all of a sudden you got a Rek'Sai in your face. It was really clean, and then the follow-up, the flash hook from the Nautilus, beautiful, beautiful execution.
Yeah, the mini-game is starting as Shrek does go in, but Flago just sits there and stuns straight away, so this is going to be a very fun kind of game, potentially. We're going to see if Shrek can get anything through it on this Xin Zhao, but you need to dodge those, buddy. They know the Kindred mini-game has already started. Milk has gone straight to it, and the ward comes straight out. What is that range on that E?
Yeah, it's certainly a slightly longer one that you sort of get caught by, like, wait a second. That's the range of that? But at this point, Jay just needs to chill. I feel like we're at this point where already the mid lane's ahead, jungle's up, bot lane's in a good spot. Though the farm's not looking so good for Kersey. I feel like he needs to sort of up his game a little bit, especially on the Misfortune there. He does get that one, but if you're in the top lane there, if you're the Ornn, you just need to chill.
Milk's going to then tunnel over, the Ornn ult going to come out, get the knock up through, but the ult coming out, so the respect from Monster Buff straight away. But Monster's looking to come back in, as they know the Kindred is up in the jungle, but who is going to win the trade? You got the Axe versus the Spike. I think they're just going to disrespect each other as Milk is going to get this second Scuttle Crab in at the top side. Drake is now live, so potentially looking at a reset from anyone. Maybe going down there, but no resets coming out from anyone, really.
Yeah, it just seems to be... Perhaps it's, the semi-final nerves, just not thinking too much about the objectives just yet, just trying to really get their sights. No!
Jay, just dancing around.
Okay, Jay is feeling it in this top lane right now. He knows he's got the pressure, he knows his team's up, but here comes the Kindred. Moving on up, Q-King Colon.
No, spotted straight away, or just maybe eating away because they may have saw it over the Scuttle Crab. Rek'Sai again getting the second camp that spawned up for the Kindred. But this bot lane's always going to be under pressure because the Zeri is farming up well, got that coal. Kersey maybe a little nervous. I'll say Bronze going in, but doing okay so far. The Seraphine is going to queue, maybe E up, and the wave clear on the side of Team Comrade in that bot side is a lot easier, shall we say. But this wave clear here as well, straight away from Flacco, it's disgusting already, right? The alternator used as well as Milk is now on the Drake. No wards here, but the Kindred is here.
The Kindred is here, but I don't think they're going to want to go for it. I mean, the Xin Zhao has no way to fight the cannon.
Does that land?
Wow, the cannon will blow up anyone that tries to come near. But the Kindred does make the move for it, which is very interesting. No power in mids.
Yeah, not spotted ham. Milk is actually really low.
Milk does it. He does get away with it, and there comes the cannon ult.
He's going to get the Q!
Oh, the hook just misses from Inter.
If that was me, that would have landed. If that was against me, that would have landed.
If that was 100%. If that was Brad, that misses. that goes into next game.
That goes on to Howling Abyss. Maybe we'll do we'll do an ARAM tournament one day. That would be super fun. But
that goes into Twisted Tree Line. That's where that goes. Anyway, so back down into the bot lane.
Map of that came up the other day, and I was like, so nostalgia. But yeah, Inter's going to land that hook straight away. But the ult's going to come out from Jay. Not getting the double stun, no doubt. Following up though, so a disengage coming out, and the Zeri does eat over the wall. And this is what we were saying. Inter's going to have to hold that ultimate, just going through as Monster is just going to... Oh, in there, but doesn't get out of the way perfectly. Jay, no mana on anyone, but just going to auto-attack to death, and... Horn's just going to go off.
That's really not good there from Jay. At this point, if you're Jay, and you're just chilling in the lane, you don't need to be doing anything. You just need to be farming your waves, just staying alive, slowly scaling on the Ornn. You don't need to give anything away. The rest of your team is winning. There's no need to do anything super spicy. But Milkyard, he lands.
I think Monster was in the shop there, not really recognizing Milk was here, and Milk's going to slice and dice, gets the ult out and jumps out from another rift straight into Monster Buff. And I think Monster Buff got caught sleeping there in the shop.
Monster Buff did get caught slacking. He was doing a little bit of window shopping, looking for some fancy new boots, maybe a little vest for the summer weather. But the Rek'Sai comes up, polishes off, and now 2-0.
A second objective as well. Milk is definitely on that, and this is what I like about the support room as well. I get shouted at in my games for doing this, and the ADC is crying that they're not knowing what's going on, but this is what you want from a skirmish. This is what you want from a 5-man. Fido does get a ganked here. Nice and early, but that looked like it landed for a second. The animation looked like it actually hooked in, but maybe just hitting the Wolfie on the back and doesn't actually do anything. So Flacco getting a bit of support. But Nautilus giving it up means, Rift Hell has been used at Shrek. You've got to be going. It's got to be stunned up, passive coming out, everything being used, and this Xin Zhao pick, we thought it was weird, and it's certainly not paying off.
Yeah, I mean, once again, this just goes to show how lethal this team Dino combination can be. It's a rough one for the Xin Zhao. He's got his dive.
Oh, they're going for this.
The dive comes through. Necessitates the Kindred ult. She's now out the ult, and it's a clean pickup. Wow, these shurikens. Are we gonna have to check PC for Flat Girl Enjoyer, because I'm thinking there's a vac ban coming in with these shurikens. Let me tell you.
Yeah, these shurikens just seem to be landing at God and anything. Just unfortunately, these Nautilus hooks didn't quite land on that one, as Jay now has the passive for Seraphine up, and the stun can now come out. So you got to respect this. The ults will be back up soon. You know the flashes are back up. They'll have timers on, as Monster Buff is a little bit under the tower there. just takes a little shot, dusts it off their shoulder, and Jay is still dancing around, both of them actually, just respecting each other in that sense and having fun. And this is what it's all about in the TGH community, really. You know, someone saying there were 16 of us in the league channel at about 2 o'clock today, just all chilling, while some of us were working and playing, and this is kind of what you get week on week. We are friends at the end of the day. We do badmouth each other. We definitely do. We have fun with it.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's always a lot of respect between Jay and Comrade. Even yesterday, we were spectating one of Comrade's games, and Jay was asking questions about, how he was playing a certain Jax matchup. We are always looking to support each other. Obviously, we flame each other a little bit. It's you take the rough and smooth, but it's all love. Oh. It's all love. Anyway,
and you're kind of in the middle of somewhere you probably shouldn't be, as a shuriken lands again, and the kill goes over to Kersey.
Tell you what, Kitten will not be loving that. That was a little bit greedy in terms of positioning from Kitten there. Walks way too far into red side jungle, thinking that they have some semblance of priority somewhere. I don't know why they would.
Somewhere, I don't know where, as the 4-0 Kennen now gets another solo kill. Mid, the stun doesn't land there, unfortunately, for Jay. Jay is going with the Boundless Mirror, so it will be looking like an actual support item. I main the Seraphine, about 70% win rate. Yes, I am currently flexing. But it's on a full AP, which is something that they really are struggling with in this game. So I'm surprised the fact that the Seraphine hasn't gone flat AP in this one.
Yeah, definitely. It's an interesting tech, that's for sure, but it's one which we tend to see from time to time. It's just
Jay's just going to sit there and stack up this armor and just be a tanky daddy later on. Really, yeah, it doesn't matter how the lane goes.
I mean, this is obviously a major limitation of this comp from Team Comrades. They have the Kindred, they have the Xin Zhao, they have the Zeri. As you said, the Seraphine is not up in the AP damage. The Malphite's a tank. Where does their magic damage really come from?
TP coming in, and we're wondering what this is going to be a Malphite straight away.
Wow.
The Nautilus is just going to chill back, and I think that was a little bit of a hate crime there against. And Flat Girl Joy does come out with their own ult and the TP, and Seraphine looks like to go down as well. Malphite, the tanky one's going to be it, but they want to get on that Zeri. Milk wants to get the ult off, does get it in. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Down they go with a double kill for Flat Girl. But can it be a triple? As the flash coming out, the hook come through. Miss Shuriken, by the way. That's a 1 miss. And we're looking to get the triple. It doesn't. It goes on to Milkyard, but great reactions there from the team. Team Witch J and Team Milk. So, Team Dino, as you see there, sorry. So, 2-11. This is looking pretty sour.
Yeah, and Milk on the Dragon now. Picking up the second for Team Dino this game. I mean, the initial play, it looked good, but they committed so much for the pick. The TP was committed, the Malphite was committed, the Seraphine ult. They put everything onto killing this Misfortune. And then the follow-up, the comeback in from Team Dino. As we look to an interesting attempt on the life of the
Shuriken hits again!
The Kennen is too slippery. I'm sorry. This Kennen, listen, they may be called Flat Girl Enjoyer, but this performance is voluptuous. Let me tell you, Beanie. It is
voluptuous. Wow, we don't use big words like that on stream here. That is very big wording coming out from yourself, Aaron, as they're looking to get a pick here down in the bot lane. And the Kersey does get that one down. Mid tower not even going to go down, as Milk just seems to be everywhere at once, and the ult's going to be dropped out by Kindred. Which means no one can really die. Ult coming out now from Monster. Milk has to respect this. Potentially going to get the Q, gets the slow, but how does Milk get out there? The Team Dino are slippery.
These moments, would have been so big. The 350 gold shutdown, but it doesn't matter. Flat Girl comes along. Inter's here again. This Nautilus has just said to the MF, listen, you do you, going Coco. I'm going to go on a journey of discovery, and what this Nautilus is discovering is success all over the Rift. No matter where this Nautilus goes, plays are happening, kills are being picked up. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful roaming from Inter.
50%, just above 50%, about 60, maybe nearly 70% kill participation on this Nautilus. Bearing in mind they are a laner in the bot lane. I see 10 pretty much need 10 kills across on 10 KDA, should we say, on the Kennen, and nearly on the Rek'Sai as well. So the team combination coming out, we said it before, it doesn't matter about the elos, etc. If the comms are clean, the game's pretty much a good one. There's another objective picked up by Milk all over these spawn timers.
Yeah, it's been an absolute masterclass from Milk this game so far. Like, he has just been everywhere he's needed to be to react to the plays that are happening. He's been there for every single objective. He's gotten his laners ahead where he's needed to, and he's just, it's just every time I watch Milk play, usually he plays in the mid lane, but every time that I see him play, he is being mid lane, wherever he is, always roaming. His understanding of where he needs to be on the map is so good. And wow, look, there it is again. Yeah. Comes through the tunnel, avoids the control ward. Perhaps, it looks like he completely dodged the control ward that was put in the bush using 2 different tunnels. Comes under, wants to buff for the combo play of Witch J. Really, really clean.
And I think bad mouthing just dropping the rift there, forgetting he actually had it. But obviously, while you're in plays, you can't drop it. Is Inter gonna? I was waiting for Inter just to flash over that and just go for the hook, but Kersey was too far away. And you got to respect the Zeri. 154 farm. Cole used. Now gone through, so the gold coming out, Flash coming in straight away, but Flacco and Joy is here as well. Kersey doing some damage, but the Malphite TP coming in from behind just going to slow that down. Inter on the Nautilus is potentially going to go down here, and Flacco and Joy is still alive. Gets a Q down, really wants that Zeri, does get it down, but what for? Their life is going to go down to the shutdown. 1,000 gold shutdown on this Kindred, and we said you have to respect the Zeri. Is Milk going to go for it?
It's going to be a big moment. He comes through.
No,
towers.
I think just going to go down. A TP coming through from the orb, but no, the tower goes down beforehand. Soriano to go through the knock up on Monster Buff, but Milk, you're just getting taken down, but does get the unstoppable. Potentially going for a second here. Milk's clean.
It's beautiful. It's so... That point from Milk was so scary. He is literally under his tower as it is dying. The TP gets cancelled. He is stuck between a rock and a hard place. The Iceborne Gauntlet is doing its job to keep the Rek'Sai from unleashing her full potential. Still she gets the full Monty. And wow. TP comes top. Doesn't actually kill the Xin Zhao just yet, but it looks like it's just going to be a matter of time.
These queues. I think we could have had a tally on how many... I reckon it's actually probably the... kills and deaths at the moment on both teams. 20 deaths on the side of Comrade, unfortunately, but I think it's the same amount of shurikens that have been hit plus on Flat Girl. It's been an absolute showcase on this Kennen. Pretty much a showcase on this Rek'Sai as well. Milk's played it so cleanly. That last fight there was definitely a clip and a half.
Yeah, it is important obviously to note that we did get the shutdown gold going onto the Kindred, which is very, very important. I feel that at this point in the game, we're going to start seeing, hopefully, Comrade and Kitten sort of turn into this Roman squad, because those two need to try and right this ship for Team Comrade right now. The Kindred has the Triforce in. Triforce on this patch is absolutely bonkers. It's going to be the same next patch for most champions, apart from Zeri, because of the upcoming changes to how Zeri's kit works. But now, as we look to the Drake,
it's that first team fight we're looking to potentially go in. Are they just going to try and disrespect this? Are they going to let it go? This is going to be the third. Look where Flacco enjoyed. This is what you're scared of the Kennen, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be so wary of where that Kennen is as you approach a Dragon Pit. Obviously, Team Comrade had vision around, so they could see just about where the Kennen was. At the same time, this mouse, rat, rodent thing is so unbelievably fed. So unbelievably fed. It's like a hamster with like a full cheeks. As we look to the Baron and down.
Full cheeks. That's terminology. This is going to be maybe on one of our first team fights, and the ult coming through, but the Malphite going to stop that down straight away on the Kersey's ultimate there, as Jay is going to try and drop that in. No AP though on this Seraphine, so you are just going to go straight down, and there is a split fight here. The Malphite is going to go down as well. Land's Respite is being used, but unfortunately,
it's just not enough. It's just not enough. And you see there, Kersey, speaking of cheeks, unfortunately gets his clapped in this fight. The AD carry on the side of Team Dino, just isn't getting to play League of Legends. And what we also see towards the tail end of the fight is we see Comrade and we see Kitten, the last two remaining members, trying to make it work. It's just not going their way. They're just too far behind at this point, especially as Team Dino looks to pick up this Baron.
Yeah, we can't see the gold. Well, the gold difference up there you can see is it's not quite 10k yet. I think the Carl on the side and the farming on the side of the Zeri is where it's at, but they're jumping on this Zeri so fast. And yeah, the Malphite ult being used to make sure that Kersey with that MF ult and just can't. The bullet time gets stopped straight away because Ghostblade and a Collector, anyone gets low enough and they're pretty much popped and gone.
Absolutely. And at this point, where does Team Comrade go? Look at the map. The vision is all up in their jungle. It's not looking too good for them right now. They have no prio pretty much anywhere, apart from obviously a little bit in bot lane, which is going to get sorted out by Jay. Next objective that they're looking to... Look, they've got to go for this. They've got to go for this next Drake when it comes up. It's going to be a little bit of a Hail Mary. They're going to have to opt for another fight at some point. But for the time being, all they can do is just try and farm up the best they can. Try and hit those power spikes. Xin Zhao hasn't even got 2 items yet. And the player's being made on which Jay now.
Jay is just not going to go down though. Yeah. Ornn's going to be taken so low, but literally just as the team comes in now, the rest of the team are here. Jay is still alive at the moment. Seraphine goes down, Kindred goes down, the Malphite goes down, and the Ornn still alive. This is the thing of what we said, right? There's no AP damage coming out, so Jay is just going to sit there willy-nilly, and everything's just going to just tickle his shoulder, really. And you're going to see Rek'Sai now going to come through straight away on this Xin Zhao. Unfortunately, he's not been able to play the game. The hook doesn't land. Milkyard has got to try and get out. Zeri is ulted straight away. Once that shutdown gold does a lot of damage here. The Ghost coming through as well, and unfortunately, Kennen still had the ultimate.
So again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. You see Comrade and Kitten trying to make it work down there with Jay, trying to get the pick on which Jay. Unfortunately, this Ornn has the Jack Show, has the Sunfire, has the Tabbies. It's so hard to get this Ornn down. And at the same time, you've got to respect when you don't see the enemy team on the map, when you know that the Kindred mark was up at the Gromp. There's every chance that the enemy jungler could be nearby in that bot lane. Their entire team could be close by. They make the Hail Mary play, and they're heavily punished for it yet again.
You got to think, Milk has been everywhere. Like, if you can't see this Rek'Sai, she's going to be somewhere near you. Like, you just know it. It's like a horror film. You know she's going to be there just ready to pop out the ground and take you down because, as you said, the objectives have been perfect. The timing, you know as well, back in the early, I know it's later stages, they were pathing down as well. So yes, going into that Gromp, you know something's going to happen. Absolutely.
And it's been such a joy to watch this Rek'Sai, just the sheer amount of pressure that she's been able to assert this entire game. It's been absolutely phenomenal. But when you think about who the players of the game are, it's hard to tell.
We've just suddenly I can hear it, but I can't see it. So I can tell Seraphine ult's gone off, the Ornn ult's gone off as well.
The Kennen ult's gone off. There's death, and now it's silent.
Oh, and we're back. Two people died. So
2 people died.
The Kindred, and there's a flash comes in, but Zeri, that's very, very good reaction time there on the E, and they have to respect it. And this is just going to be Dragon Soul straight away. The jungle is down. They can't do anything about it. So you said, where do they win it from? I'm not going to lie, I don't think they can from here. Look, the 2 lanes being pushed. Baron buff is now down. Malphite looks to go in here, but the Nautilus is there just to stop anything happening. They're all going to collapse on this, and this could be GG straight from here.
Yeah, and now there's the fight. The fight once again begins. Gets cleaned up. It's just so impossible at this point. Like the fact that they haven't GG'd out on Team Comrade, I think, is a sign of respect, if anything, to the performance of Team Dino. They've probably gone, look, we're getting roasted here. Let's just play it out. Let's just have some fun with it, see what we can get, and go run it back, go next as they head into the lower bracket of this
damage straight away, but. That last fight, by the way, Milk used the ultimate perfectly to get away from the Mouth ultimate, so it didn't do any damage. The timing on it was incredible. Whether or not that was meant to be, he would probably say, yeah, it was 100%. But it may have not been. It may have just been a coincidence of the timing, but they're looking just to get inside this base now. They need to respect it a bit. They just need to make sure the macro is on point as Zeri is clearing the ways through and the route coming out from Jay. But I think an AP Seraphine here would have been a lot more obnoxious, a lot more damaging. Jay has disconnected. Nope, there we go, straight back in again as all lanes are pushing in.
Nautilus comes into the base. Inter perhaps doesn't want to be there just yet, but I mean, this Nautilus is so big at this point. So much damage on the side of Team Dino, and the fight starts yet again.
Oh, this golden stopwatch coming out means the cannon's got away.
There's a huge channel of the MF ult. And
no, how does Flat Girl get that? Flat Girl stopwatch perfectly, hourglass perfectly, the Seraphine ult, and unfortunately the timing just quite wasn't there. Yeah, wow. It was a clear hourglass. Well, 14, 1, and 10 on this cannon, but I don't think they've got super minions are about to come into their base. You got 30 seconds nearly. You got about 30, 40 seconds on Baron here as well, so maybe an exit coming out with that Baron play. Just going to respect it here. So even though they're 30 kills up, 16 gold up, 16k gold up as well, they are respecting the enemy team, knowing that if they did this in throw, there's a lot of shutdowns on offer.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Hail Mary time now. The minions are coming in. Your base is getting absolutely destroyed from every possible angle. You have no priority. It looks like Team Dino is probably just going to sprint to Baron to do it cleanly. Grab the Baron, grab the buff, run 3 lanes in, 1-3-1. What can Team Comrade do? They're so far behind. And, at this point, it's going to take nothing short of a miracle. As you said, these shutdowns need to come in. You got 700 gold on the Rek'Sai, you got 700 gold on the cannon. But how do you kill them? The Zhonya's is in for the cannon. The Rek'Sai is slippery as all hell, incredibly hard to kill. The night what do we call it? The
Edge of Night.
Edge of Night, that's the one. I was going to say Night Harvest.
I got you, bro. The Edge of Night on the Rek'Sai, yeah.
On the right side coming in as well to add some extra resistance. Obviously, the spell shield. It's going to be so difficult to get these shutdowns and to have any semblance of getting back into the game. Obviously, Kersey has a 300 gold shutdown. The MF has been slightly farmed a little bit this game, but to be fair to Kersey, I feel like
only 3 deaths.
Yes,
which
I feel like
3 deaths on that and Nautilus. Bear in mind, everyone's got either 0 or 1 is kind of inting. I'm not going to lie, guys. How have you died 3 times? This is pretty much it. Yep. Last hurrah, they can do a great bullet time coming out, as we said. If they get a full combination of Kersey, just shreds it down. Lamb Respite coming in, but it doesn't really matter, as Witch J is just going to come in as well, and the Malphite is not going to be able to do anything. Minions are going to swarm the base, and that is GG to Team Dino.
Wow, Team Dino. What
very clean game. Just an incredibly clean game. That was one of the cleanest games, I think. And by the way, guys, just to put it into perspective, these teams are thrown together. Okay, some of these games may have played before. We play customs all the time. Okay, we do league customs pretty much every other night. We've now changed our Discord roles, actually. Mainly, obviously, pretty much mimic the Valorant role, so you can actually tag in your current rank, and if you want to be part of the ARAM enjoyers, which we are, or part of sort of what rank you are, and you can find duos and partners. But some of these people have played customs together, but that looked like a team, right? The communication coming out from all of them, it was clean.
It was sensational, absolutely sensational, and especially when we look to the stats from this game, it tells quite a pertinent story. Look at Milkyard, a flawless 17-0-13. This man ran the game. He ran the show. It was a beautiful display. We spoke about it in the game. We have to mention it again. This man was everywhere. I went for a drink earlier. I looked in my fridge and Milkyard was there ganking me from my fridge. This man, I looked under the couch for some change. Milkyard was there. This man was everywhere on the map. An absolutely flawless performance, and obviously, Flat Girl Enjoyer has to be commended as well. A fantastic, a fantastic lane into the slightly
Xinjiao, yeah,
odd Xinjiao, we'll say, but nonetheless, they had to still play the lane correctly, not disrespect the slightly off meta pick. And you know, they ran the show, and yeah. And
so,
then again,
the Seraphine was the first pick we said, you know, and
Yes.
it's one that we thought, okay, it can pretty much go anywhere. You saw the MF, and then you saw immediately the Rek'Sai. So you're going to pick your bot lane and jungle straight away. And Zeri Kindred, cool. This is where I was thinking, I think you were talking at the time about sort of the Lulu ban and things like that, and obviously the Alawi. I said it was potentially going to be a tank stopper top lane, but that mid laner needed some sort of bolstering or more damage. As we saw the damage chart earlier, there was literally nothing. I think actually Milk probably done 3 times the amount of Conrad's team himself. And this is the thing, there was just not that much damage coming through, but we're going to go into the final incredibly soon, and we're obviously going to see Team Milk and that coming in. It's going to be a tough beat. I don't know who they're actually going to play against. I don't know who won the other semi-final. I know it was a streamer off, Team Wowie versus Team Fairy G as we go through, but we will be back in just a second. I think Milk is sweating even harder now after that game, not just in the heat, I must say, so the guy must be slippery, but we'll be back in just a bit for the final.
My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Be carefree lately, yeah. Just kicking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Count 'em like the 4-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
Wondering how to make a play all night. Looking your way from out of sight. Thinking I should ask if you're doing alright. You weren't easy, so hard to ignore. Pull up on your right. Ask what you're drinking, ask what you like. Said you look good in the dim bar light. So damn cheesy. Who'd have thought you'd fall for somebody like me? When you asked my name, I panicked. So out of my league. And your body was so magnetic. Before I knew it, we talked and I think about you a cocktail. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody like me. Somebody like me. Somebody like me. Took you out and showed you the city. How'd you let somebody so pretty's what they said to me? Yeah, that's what they said to me. Well, they told me I didn't stand a chance, yeah. Face value, had you at a glance, yeah. But nobody ever asked if you could dance, yeah. Well, only one who did that was somebody like me. When you asked my name, I panicked, so out of my league. And your body was so magnetic. Before I knew it, we talked and I think about you a cocktail. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody like me. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody like me. You told me that you've finally. Anybody wanna stop me? Before I knew it, we talked and I think about you. Called till you told me that you've been waiting for somebody like me.
Swipe left, someone said something stupid. Swipe right, now I'm watching what you did. If I were down, now I'm at a disadvantage. But I think that it's worth it. I put my headphones on, I play my favorite song. I go to sleep and try again. Mama used to try and tell me no man is an island, but I think I feel like drifting away. Mama used to say tomorrow never comes, so make the most, but I think I am done with today. Think I am done with today. Boss says, man, you gotta make an effort. Feel like all I do on earth is just say yes, sir. And when I tell people how they make me feel, they treat me like a leper. I put my headphones on, I play my favorite song. I go to sleep and try again, again. Mama used to try and tell me no man is an island, but I think I feel like drifting away. Mama used to say tomorrow never comes, so make the most, but I think I am done with today.
Well, I've just managed to pamper myself down from the heat that it is here in the UK, which I'm not complaining about, by the way. I absolutely love it. But the sweat coming off Team Milk from the last game is dripping on over to my side. But that was such a clean game. I think generally, if anyone actually watched that, that was an incredible game to watch. Like, just hands down, incredible. Commiserations, obviously, to the team that lost. I don't think there was much they could have done. I don't think it was a huge skill matchup and stuff. It was just the fact they was just super clean. And you've watched enough. You've actually obviously been to sort of MSI. We were together, and you actually went to Worlds Finals and stuff. And that's generally a top tier kind of play.
Absolutely. Listen, I've had the pleasure of being able to go to some of the finest LoL LAN events in the world. But let me tell you right now, that game there might have been the greatest game of League of Legends I've ever witnessed.
Sit down.
It was poetry. Listen, JDG, who come on now. This isn't about the LPL or the LCK. No, it's not even about the LEC. It's about TGH, baby, and that is what we're cooking up right here in these weekly skirmishes. And obviously, we should clarify that these teams, the amount of work that goes into ensuring that these teams are balanced based on rank. Obviously, there is a very diverse pool of players that signs up to these events each week, but the boys in the back who are doing all the balancing and whatnot for these teams, they always do their best to make sure that, if it's a stomp like this, like it was, it's down to just good old-fashioned League of Legends, just good snowballing, good clean play, as opposed to, any massive differentials in skill, as you noted, Beanie.
And obviously, I noted before is we'll try and put those top tier players in off roles. We're now in the final. The gloves are off. It doesn't matter what role you get put in. You're now playing whatever role you want to, and that Kennen mid, we know is a top tier. And I've supported him quite a few times as an ADC, but I know Kersey can kind of play in the jungle, can kind of support ADC. I'm not sure if there was a mid laner on that team. I didn't know what the Naught played originally.
So this next game, is going to be a bit of a wild card. Obviously, as you said, the gloves are off. Players can return to their normal positions, but we could also perhaps see some GAs coming through in terms of people agreeing, hey, look, we're chilling, we're chilling in our positions. We're just going to stay as it is. I personally feel that Team Dino might just run it back as it is. Flagel Enjoy is an ADC main. However, Kersey has shown that he's more than competent enough to fill those shoes, especially with Inter by his side, who is a support main. So for me, Team Dino, I can see staying the same. When it comes to Meowi's team, however, we haven't seen a lot of these players before. These are new players, or largely new players, coming into the skirmish.
Two jungles, two supports, and a bot. I know Hannah Montana, which is actually Maui. I've seen her play a lot of support, but mid lane cooking is a lot of things that the Syndra I've seen. We obviously saw the Vex in the first game when we were watching it in the League channel. Cooked up the Seraphine, which I'm going to shout it out. I hope you're in the channel watching, Fairy G. I know you diffed. You put it in there. You're super proud. Well
We've seen the numbers. We've
seen the numbers, and especially should be super proud going up against Mia. She is a good mid laner as well, especially Plat. So, and high Plat at that, actually. Plat 1, 0p. That's a good standard to go up against, and fair play to you. Unfortunately, we will see you at a final at some point. We will. I'm sure we will. Okay, Lloyd will cook it up. Just send the PayPal a little bit better. But we're going to see Lazy Turtle is a bronze. Looking at bronze bot lane maybe as a support main. So the bot matchup is going to be pretty fair, to be honest. And if Kersey plays as well as he has been playing, could see a really different bot lane. But what's that top lane looking like? I'm hoping it's actually looking like a bit more of a slap than a tank fest.
Yeah, so when it comes to the bot lane matchup, I feel as a bot lane player, I mean, I'm always going to use the excuse of, look, it's not an ADC gap, it's a support gap, okay? This is how we roll in the bot lane. But it does remain the fact that if you have a very competent support, if you have someone that will set you up for success in your 2v2 lane, you are going to have a immeasurably better time than if you're, stuck with someone who is auto-filled. That is just a matter of fact. So this bot lane matchup is going to be really, really interesting. We have a real mixture of potential elos in this matchup, so I'm really looking forward to what's being cooked up here. And again, this top lane matchup, we saw. Wait, who did we see in the top lane for?
I think
Mia?
it was. I'm looking here at some of the old games, and it looks like Mordekaiser, so Lazy Turtle in that, who is that bronze, obviously. Did quite well actually into Matt in the first game, as you know, Matt's a plat and above. Jay's second win, they need to just run it back, surely. If Flat does get the Twitch AP, which if anyone lets in, by the way, you just can't. You just can't. If you thought Milk roaming here and there, or the Nautilus roaming here and there was bad enough, imagine an AP Twitch where you just have no idea where they are at all as well. It's game over straight away, so you just can't let that in. We're looking at the team before, so there was a Seraphine mid, Kaiser bot lane with that Nautilus. Mordekaiser again got run back and actually did the most damage in the game, and then you had a Zac in the jungle, so quite an actual realistic team comp compared to obviously what Comrade cooked up against Milkyard.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see some really good diversity hopefully come out in this final game. No, as you said earlier, gloves are off, anything goes. I personally think that we won't be seeing the Twitch again. I think that once you get to this point, once you're in that final, you are doing your prep, you are checking those OPGGs, you are making sure that anything that is remotely problematic gets cut out. With that said, will the Kennen get banned? Or will they just think, well, I mean, they picked Xin Zhao into Kennen mid, like, of course the Kennen is going to look good if, piloted remotely competently into that matchup. And obviously with the sort of disparity there between Flat Girl and their mid lane counterpart. Right. But who knows? We will just have to wait and see.
There's been a Vex now pretty much in every game.
Yep.
In every form of the game, sorry. So there is a losers bracket going on at the same time, playing for 5th and 6th, and or 4th and 5th and 6th, 7th, 8th. Sorry, I have to get my maths right. It's late in the day.
It's late in the day. It's warm.
It is. It's late in the day. It's warm. I've been cooked all day. But the Seraphine has obviously been a big pick as well. Now we haven't seen a Lucian at all in the semi-finals, but in the first sort of games we were watching in the quad box, shall we say, with Lloyd, there were 4 Lucian games pretty much going on at the same time. So that Lucian Nami, there was a Nami actually in the game before. There's quite a big bot lane match, but we haven't seen the Milio.
No, Milio has been nowhere to be seen. We do know that Lazy Turtle, if they do go back to playing in the bot lane, Milio is their most played champ so far in rank this season. They've got 20 games on it so far. Perhaps not enough to call them, a Milio master. But, they can kick a football or two. It's not quite blue lock, but they're getting there. They're slowly working towards it. So we might see the Milio come out. Is something which we kind of expect to see, especially we've seen some Zeri. We've seen, the kind of traditional carries that excel on this patch. I perhaps would have liked to have seen some more Lucian Nami so far today. I think that Lucian Nami is still extremely strong if it does get let through. I know obviously we were watching earlier the game with Clefairy and Kian in the bot lane. And they, I think, piloted it, decently well. I mean, Clefairy is obviously a very good Nami player. But, I would love to see some more Lucian Nami. I'm a big Lucian enjoyer, obviously, guilty.
Yeah, I'm still getting PTSD from the couple of games a couple of nights ago when we just got destroyed by that. And I'm a Nami player. I'm a huge Nami player as well. If the Seraphine is bad and my ADC is a competent Lucian player, I'm 100% going for it. It is broken as hell. They even got rid of the electrocute proc. Doesn't matter, still broken as hell. Obviously, if Nami does get banned, they still want the Lucian. Lucian Braum is quite a good pick.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Braum procs up, especially with the passive of Lucian with a double shot. But there was a Braum in a game we watched earlier. It was just a solo duo. But Braum doesn't really get picked up too much. Is the Alistair going to get banned again? Is that going to be something that may be kind of respected again?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, I feel like Inter's already shown that anything that you can engage on, be it Alistair, the Nautilus we saw in last game, I mean, their Rakan seems really solid from that match history. Anything that they're allowed to make plays on, they will cook. So you can ban out the Alistair, Doesn't matter. So it feels like what the tactic perhaps should be. If you're looking at Meowy's team, is that you should be looking to target perhaps the weaker members of the team, take them out of their comfort zones, and really make them suffer for it. Because trying to ban out Inter, trying to ban out Flat Girl Enjoyer entirely, obviously the Twitch we've already spoken about. I don't feel like there's going to be much point. These players have really deep pools, clearly, and if you're going to make the bans count, then you need to target the weakest links.
Yeah, but if we think about weakest link, we haven't spoken about the jungle on side of Team Mia, but obviously Milk was absolutely everywhere, and look at the games we've had today. It's just been all assassin-based games as we are into Select already. First pick going over, so blue side is going over to Team Milk. I keep saying Milkyard just because of Milkyard. Mia's team is going to get that red side as well. So, some people may not know, but that you pick and choose a side, you get first pick or you get last pick, and the last pick can be crucial. That first pick has been a Seraphine on the last one. If we don't see a Seraphine ban, I've got a big feeling it's going to get picked up straight away.
Yeah, so we see the Jarvan ban come through here. Very, very, very strong champion in the jungle currently. I feel like Jarvan is a champion that requires not a lot of investment to get a lot of return from. He's fantastic for playmaking purposes. He can get around the map very quickly, especially if if Flacco Enjoyer perhaps wants to take on the Milkyard role, pick up the Rek'Sai as a fighter, then perhaps taking the Jarvan off the board as a not necessarily as an answer, but as an adjacent. It's probably a good way to go. You see the Xayah taken off here for Team Meowy.
And the Mordekaiser as well.
Interesting.
So the Mordekaiser getting picked up. The Jarvan is actually Zulu's one of top play. Now, Crowstorm here is, well, there's a reason why they're called Crowstorm. If you don't know where the crows fly all over a Swain. And looking at their OPG, it's just Swain. Now, there's a lot of red dots on there, though. It is a bit of a red carpet. So the Jax ban coming straight out as well for Witch Jade. That's a little bit of respect.
But do they actually leave the Swain up? Because, how many jungle Swains have we seen? And are they proficient enough on the champion? I mean, it is looking a bit red. The carpet is looking a bit red right now.
Yeah, and obviously a support main, but plat 4, so Lazy Turtle, you're wondering if they're going to go on this. So the Twitch ban coming through as well. So you're looking, the Kennon's still up from that last game. Alawi is still alive here, actually, for Jay as well. Seraphine picked up straight away, as we said. So I reckon that's going to be Kersey potentially on support there. On that Seraphine. But they did farm quite well in the first game as an APC with the Rakan pairing.
Yeah, definitely. And the last ban that came through on that first round was the Zac, which I presume was what Crow, I'm assuming, was jungling last game.
Crow was cooking last game, yep.
So again, what we talked about in the pre-game, just taking, players who are weak, perhaps weaker or auto-filled, just really taking away any sort of comfort for them. So now the Crow has swapped the Swain.
The Swain has come through. I was waiting for you to see that as you were looking into the camera. But the Crow is here. Now, looking at percentage-wise, their KDA is up in there with the 3. And the win rate is actually 51%. So the fact that we see a red carpet on the last one, there's the Swain Vel'Koz. First pick Vel'Koz coming through. So these are 2 flex picks. You don't know where these are going. There's a mid or support. Vel'Koz generally you see as a support. It's so obnoxious, especially as it starts getting that true damage down as well. Very much ARAM enjoys. We know that Vel'Koz can just do so much damage so quickly. As the Cannon is going to maybe come straight back out again. I think this is a great pick. We saw those Qs just never not hit. I think I can count on one hand how many times a Cannon Q did not hit, and we knew the range from it. But this is where maybe the matchup gets a little bit better. If Mia is going to go into that mid, who are they taking? Because you've got this Swain and the Vel'Koz.
Yeah, I mean, you've already got a lot of AP.
Forgot about the Alistair.
The Alistair is most likely going to come through from Inter, a painted champ. But again, as we spoke about before, is there any point banning out someone who is clearly that good on engaged champs?
Yep.
So we'll have to see. Alistair perhaps not one of the weaker engaged supports in the current meta, or perhaps one of the more underutilized ones, I should say. Alistair does have his use cases. Yeah, I mean, the Syndra comes through. We've seen a lot of AP being picked up on the side of Meowie.
Which is the polar opposite to the last semi-final, or the semi-final we just had. But I was going to say the Syndra is going to come up from Hannah there, or Mia, one of our stream team members. But is this a Velcro Swain bot lane? Is that Swain looking to go top side, maybe? Velcro support? There's a lot to cook here. So I think for Team Milk, they just go back to what they know that worked really well. Swain's hard to engage on. The Velcros can disengage. There's obviously Meowie on that. Syndra can literally just blow people up, especially as she starts to pick up those splinters. But the Rengar bad, the Cogmore coming out as well on the other side. You know, it's a tough one.
I feel like the Swain pick has kind of bamboozled Jay's team, Milk's team a little bit, because I personally think that the Swain is going to go into the jungle. I reckon we're going to see a Swain jungle. Mostly because I'm willing it into existence. The Rengar ban for me, with an Alistair on Milk's team, I wouldn't necessarily be super scared of a Rengar coming at you. Obviously, Alistair has some really, really strong ways to deal with Rengar, to lock down the cat.
And you don't want to jump on a Kennen. If Kennen's getting the stacks going, you just don't want to jump on. You don't want to jump on that Kennen. So the Kha'Zix ban as well coming out, which is kind of weird because I'd expect that from the other side for Milk. So the Hecarim ban coming in as well. I have seen him play Hecarim in his solo duos and been cooking quite a lot there. But do we need an ADC? We need ADCs here. So there's only one banned or two really banned away. So you've still got Zeri up. Lucian, Nami is still an option right now as a Yorick now comes out.
Okay, so they're looking to potentially give the ADC the counter pick down the bot lane. Again, I just want to touch on these assassin bans when it comes to the way that Milk's team is shaping up. As you said, you don't want to jump on a Kennen, especially a Kennen that is going to have Zhonya's at some point. Kha'Zix jumps on him, Rengar jumps on him, presses R. Zhonya's, as you noted. The Rek'Sai comes back in. It looks like we're going to be running it back with a switch to the Mundo. Okay. Well, this is going to be really, really scary for Mia's team, because how on earth, apart from obviously a very good Vel'Koz ult early on, perhaps, how are you going to deal with that Mundo? I mean, Yorick is going to have to obviously pick up the Sundra, more than likely, instead of the Triforce, which I think is pretty much the go-to on pretty much every Sheen-based champion now.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. I thought the pick on there was for Jay literally just to not be able to switch. So I thought the Mundo was going to go in the top. Jay obviously that top laner, and they just picked the Rek'Sai there because Milk has Seraphine. Some of these players that we have don't have all champs, and I know the fact that Kersey potentially has a Rek'Sai randomly. Maybe it's in rotation at the moment, so the Seraphine pick over there may be helping that one out as well. They can obviously remake the lobbies as well, because we are slightly delayed behind, but a Kane coming through. So
yep, the swap's coming through.
Yeah, this is a bit of a weird matchup in the bot lane. There's no real ADC on either team. There is no ADC on either team. If you go back to Spring Split and you look at the LPL or the LCK, 90% of the teams were ADCs. You had a Caitlyn Varys, you had, everyone pretty much with Ashe. And this is going to be a real hard game of tower defense because you can't knock those towers down too much, but the Yorick and Mundo are definitely going to slap them.
Yeah, you're going to be looking to rotate your Yorick and your Mundo around the map, hopefully, to try and get those structures down. The Mundo hopefully will have taken Demolish. The Yorick is obviously Yorick. He will just sit in the top lane and will gladly split push the entire game away. But we're just going to have to see how this spice plays out as we now, for the final time today, head out onto the Rift.
Nicely done. Just a quick shout out to Aaron. This is his first time casting. I think you're doing an incredible job, my guy. You're doing incredibly well. So we're going to see this go through as we're looking out. Shout out to the teams all still playing their semi-finals and finals for obviously 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th. third and fourth will be playing as well. As a little bit different here. The bot lane's going to be there. They're going to try, Milk's going to try and get straight away on this red, but Kane starts Raptors. It's generally a general rule of thumb, but are they going to be able to catch them out here? The ward getting picked up by Flat Girl, and Milk doing incredibly well with not sitting there at all.
Yeah, I feel like if there was an opportunity there to walk up onto that Kane, but I feel like Flat Girl just needed to not show for a bit longer. I reckon they could have caught the Kane unawares, or they could have actually just straight up killed him on those Raptors to start. But nonetheless, it's, could be those finals jitters, just a little moment of, just not miscommunication, we'll say, but just not quite on the same wavelength. Granted, Kane is fairly safe. He could just queue away, but it looks like he is actually just cut his losses, has decided to move down, and will now start on this blue with the leash from his bot lane.
Yeah, in this bot lane, the Swain is going to run you down. There's a flash ghost with electrocute, and you've got the dark harvest on the Vel'Koz. First strike coming out. This time not from Flat Girl, actually. Not going for that, going for the electrocute instead. So maybe a bit of respect as Jay's just going to slap the Yorick in the face. This top lane is going to be a bit of a battle. Not as much as one last time. Obviously, we saw Jay just dancing around, but Corporate Mundo is doing his business in that lovely pink suit. And Yorick's just going to try and get the ghouls up as quick as possible.
Yeah, get that level 2, get those ghouls running. Just trying to assert some pressure back in this lane. There we go. The ghouls have arisen from the ground. Now we look to this bot lane player. Kersey on his... I'm not going to say painted Seraphine, but he plays a fair amount of Seraphine.
He would say it's their main. He would definitely say their main. Getting that farming in, 10 farm up already. So fair play to Kersey for this farm. And it sounds like a bad choice, but Kersey's the lower elo bracket on bronze. And when you see this kind of play, you need to let them know because it's a good word. I played a solo duo game the other day where we had an Aurelia in the bot lane against us on the minute farming, and we had someone in my elo, Silver, saying, yeah, it's normal seeing it. It's definitely not, okay? It's definitely not. So when you see people just farming on the minute and getting really good at it, it's really good early on because many people don't realize that 1 or 2 or 2 or 3 minion waves is pretty much the same as a kill. The more farm you get, the more you cook later on, you just get so far ahead.
Absolutely. As you said, Beanie, money is the main objective of League of Legends. Forget about nexuses, forget about kills. If you have the money, you have the power, baby. You go back, you get your items on the timings, you're going to come back into objective fight stronger than your opposition. But it looks like some early gold could be going over to Team Meowie, but the flash held by Witch J. But wait, he might be cooking too much.
No, I don't know. Milkyard is here. He's got the flash up, potentially to get Flash Q in. Does get in. Maybe Flash is in. There we go. First blood straight away onto Milkyard. Gets the Kane diff. Maybe gets a second as Conqueror did just pop. But unfortunately not. Jay just holding that flash to the last second. But we see Kersey now just getting blitzed out. The Swain Q coming through. Another W coming out from the Vel'Koz. And Josh repeats that in the bot lane. But Mundo actually goes down in the top lane there. And the Yorick does get that kill. So maybe the Mundo looking for a bit too much.
So it's really sad because there's some really lovely play in the top left from Jay, holding his flash, knowing his champion, knowing that he can go back in, despite the fact that Kane has double buffs, but then it's cancelled out by some really unfortunate positioning, we'll say, from Kersey. He's just too far up the lane. His support is up in the jungle, trying to ward, trying to do their thing, and he just gets caught out. And now look at the size of this wave that is crashing into the tower.
Unfortunately, just misses cannon, but the best thing is double stack Q, my boy. There we go, and it does get quite a little bit, but obviously not enough. But you're playing against someone who's maining Swain. Obviously, you've got Inter on the Alistar, but going against these two is going to be quite difficult. I think this top lane is going to be where it's really at, and then obviously the objective control. Now, we saw Milk literally on the dot at every objective possible, making plays in, and we saw this team play quite well. Now, we haven't seen Mia's team play really at all. We did kind of watch it earlier. She was playing a Vex game and landing those ultimates incredibly clean. So for Team Dino against Team Yowie, it's going to be, I think we're going for a cracking game here.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. And we obviously saw, we did see Jay go down in that earlier brawl, which is perhaps to be expected. He was really, really low, but it did allow Milk to make that play. A little bit of aggression here in the mid lane.
There was actually a kill in the mid lane we may have not picked up on.
Wow, we did not pick up on that.
I just saw that there. So
okay, there was a solo bowler in the mid lane. Maybe.
Yeah, it was a solo bolo, but the farming is still pretty much on point. So that's why the TPs are down on both sides. Pretty much similar as well. So look at this. Like I just say, Milk is already on that 6-minute Drake. That's in it. The Drake has not even had time to spawn, and it's already down. That would have easily caught off Zulu on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we just see Milk asserting himself on the map as he did in the last game. He's there on his timers, but it looks like time is running out for Jay, who is level 5. 2 turtles, level 6. The ghouls, are they going to?
And he's just chilling on the way out, trying to pick up some more stocks. I actually started watching Big Short last night randomly.
The Zulu's on the prowl. Jay just gets caught sleeping. You can tell that Jay was in the shop again. A little bit of window shopping. He was looking for the boots. He picked up a cloth armor.
I can hear the chat going in the league there. I still heard it there. So maybe a bit of banter, a bit of respect coming out, but the TP has to be invested. But this means Milk's going to probably lose that top quadrant. Milk knows that as well. So maybe going to look over towards the Kane's blue. Jumping in and out of the turrets. This is jumping out of tunnels. That's why the Vel'Koz is looking to move up. But a bot lane gank here is pretty much doable.
Yeah, some good pressure now. We've got Pro in the bot lane. The Rek'Sai is able to move freely, but will be spotted out on the ward if she chooses to come down into the lane. We saw the Kane making work of Milk's jungle in the top side, so that's no longer available to him.
Well, I'm quite surprised up there. The Vel'Koz, yeah, they know that's there, but the Vel'Koz moved up and didn't get rid of the ward that was actually in Dragon Pit. So it's kind of a weird one to kind of see. So, you know, you're going to see this is the best thing about Milk, can just come in from behind this tower, but you're going into a Swain, Vel'Koz, there's a lot of CC there. If Inter doesn't get in there to dodge it, to make sure they're in the way of it all, it's not extended, but you're going to see lose this bottom quadrant here. As the maybe an ult coming through. Stun's being used on Hannah, on Mia. Flat Girl just eating forward, landing a Q again.
Yeah, so although Meowie did go down early, it's really good to see that she's been able to stay level on farm to keep that going. But now it looks like a play is being made in the bot lane. A good dive, but Swain level 6. Really difficult to kill this Swain at this point.
Yeah, that's what it's saying. Just so much CC, so much disengage. You've got Ghost and Flash used now on Crow, so the Swain is not going to get anywhere far. If Kersey lands a double E, or a passive E, well, the ult should be coming out. Should be level 6 anytime now. Cannon should definitely get it as you walked into it. Again, the Vel'Koz is just so obnoxious.
It's an obnoxious lane, but as Inter gets tank, repeat gank comes through.
Oh,
perfect. Oh, wow.
Great ult there by Kersey.
That's a fantastic ult from the Seraphine.
Does get the flash out. Yeah, huge flash. The double E follow-up as well. Played that really well.
So again, this is just Milkyard. This Milkyard season, baby. He sees that the flash is down on the Swain. There's no ult. He knows that he can go for the repeat. Comes back in, picks up the kill with the help of his teammates. Just really clean play.
Oh, does get a kill in the end. Inter is there though. Zulu does get that shutdown, or not shutdown, the sway. This is a lot of souls going over to Kane early, so bringing out that red or blue Kane early on is quite important for the Kane. As again, Q lands. I feel like we need a tally for these Qs coming up anytime we can. I know it's probably a bit too much for observers. It's absolutely fine. We can tally up ourselves. We've seen 2 pretty much land, but Witch J just chilling. I think again, like you said last time, they just need to chill.
Yeah, I mean, once again, Team Dine. I mean, this time it's a little bit more even. The Kane, 2 kills up on the board now, is in a really good spot here, matching Milky fairly well, counter jungling, getting those invades in. Good chunk of damage down there from Meowie. Good trade, or lack thereof. Kenan's not really able to do much in that position. The Kane's been pushed off the Herald thanks to the roam. Once again, Inter has just gone. You know what, Kersey? You crack on, son. I'm gonna go on a journey of exploration and discovery. Rift Herald gets picked up, and now they have that in their arsenal.
You know that Milk is going to be on it. And obviously, they wouldn't have been able to watch the last one. I don't know if Maui had any of her streamers trying to watch our semi just to kind of make sure they knew. I'm not sure if we get into that point yet where you send the spies out, but you know, Milk is just going to be on those, and you need to be quicker. A good jungler is always ready on those spawn timers. You see about 30 seconds left until Drake is about to spawn. That's what the gold little sand timer is. Flatgirl was back, ready to go. I think the Alistair, the cow, is ready to go, but Milk's here to get this as well. And Zulu, unfortunately, you're in at the wrong place, as Jay's just going to put you under the tower. Because you've damaged it, you should be able to get a tower shot as well. Milk does use the ultimate for that, though, to make sure to get a shutdown.
That's great now. That's great, though, because now Milk can go. He can either base and go to Drake. He can run all the way down. Drake is up. It's completely free. There's no jungler on the Rift currently for Team Meow. And wow, what a great piece of
Flatgirl's got in, though. I can see that on the mini-map. Looking maybe at Hannah's going to go straight back down. Hannah Montana, 1 HP in a dream, and just about gets away.
And
no global ultimates, unfortunately.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you pop your pots during the fight, at the start of a fight, not as you're trying to limp away from it. Keep that health ticking constantly. Keep that health regenerating constantly. It might save your life, as it just did for Meowie. But that pressure, that gank, guarantees the transition into the Drake, which will now go down nice and clean. That's 2 on the board for Team Dino.
Yeah, we're looking at a quite early Elder Drake here already at this point, as it is now another Infernal Soul, and you're looking at the Kennen, you're looking at the Rek'Sai, Seraphine as well, but if you're the side of Team Maui, you want this straight away.
Yeah, Milky's just hanging around here, just seeing if... Oh, the spidey senses are tingling. This is not looking good for Milkyard.
Does have a tunnel there to try and escape.
It doesn't quite get it.
Unfortunately, doesn't get there.
Wow, the spidey senses well and truly tingling there from Josh. Gets the knock up onto Milk, and the team is there to follow up. Fantastic, really good pick.
Yeah, just couldn't quite get to the getaway tunnel as they had, but farming in the boat in the mid lane here is absolutely pretty much near on point. As are we going to see a cannon cam? Does get it. You hate to miss a cannon on stream, right? It's just something you just get crucified for straight away. And
I mean, you hate to miss him off. Yeah, I mean, first of all, you hate to miss the cannons off stream as well. Jay has been throwing his huge briefcase around all game. I mean, this man has been
good cannon.
Feeding it.
Good cannon, good waves.
He wasn't feeling. Yeah, he wasn't feeling the CS so much there as he was the swagger, the bravado, the zest. But you know,
so you're seeing it all coming out into going straight through away as well, and the damage coming straight through down as Zulu, who's trying to look to see where to go, but Milkyard is here now backing it up. We do have that Rift Herald still up, and they're actually going to go for this. They're tower diving this straight down. The damage coming out as Milk is tanking that tower. Going to go down to low HP, but still, I think the Rift has already been dropped, or is it potentially coming up? And Witch J now coming back, throwing a few of those Qs, and I think the Heart still stack coming through as well.
It's massive. And again, when you have a team where the mid-jung support, that axiom is like that trifecta is like operating in tandem, like it's so beautiful to watch, because this Alistair is all over the map. This team has such a distinct style already. You can already every game what they want to do. They want to just leave their carry to farm. They just want to send their support roaming around the map. They want to ensure that they can get objectives. The jungler can get around the map quickly, set their mid laner up, and then just leave Jay to cook in the top lane. They're just playing, no matter what they've played so far, they've played to conditions perfectly. But with that said, for all the praises that we sing, they are not infallible. And we've seen it before, we've seen it again so far this game. Meowie's team, they are looking very, very strong in comparison. The Kane now has red form, is looking for this gank on the top lane onto Jay. Let's see what they can do here.
Flash coming out, the passive coming in as well. TP now going to come out. Milk is going to ult straight away onto Lazy Turtle. Does get Lazy Turtle down. The Kennen is trying to find Zulu. Going to make sure they can't get out here with the bomb plant. Does try and get through. A slow going to come out. Milk is going to fire the Q, nearly landing on Flacco. Another Q into. You're going to take another one? No, just going to go down to the tower. Now, the play that towards bot side, after they got that kill in mid, as Maori's putting some damage down on Flacco, one thing that many people may not have saw there was the fact that as they were charging down mid lane after getting that from mid lane down to bot, the Swain and the Vel'Koz were really pushed up. The Swain was 2 HP in a dream. Maui TP'd down there, so that's why the TP is on cooldown. So, you know, with second rift coming up, if Maui has to back, it's going to be a costly one at that. And I'm not sure if Team Dino actually saw that.
Yeah, and I think looking back at this top side dive, I don't feel like Team Meowie had the numbers or had the sort of tankiness just yet. Don't forget the Kane has got the Merc Treads as opposed to the Tabbies. He doesn't have that extra bit of armor to help him survive that, you know, that extra tower shot. But now we see once again the play being made onto Meowie. This support into right here is making Meowie's life so miserable right now. Like it's bad enough when you're a mate playing a mage and the enemy jungler is all up in your grill every other minute. But what's making it so much worse, compounding this issue, is when the support's rolling up as well. It is unbelievable. The boys truly are back in town in this mid lane. And with that said, Meowie is dealing with it very well. Was able to navigate that attempt on her life perfectly.
Yeah, bit of a weird one here. So you saw the Mundo running down there into the bot side, the Yorick obviously pushing the top side. It's pretty much what Yorick's going to be. It's going to be almost a 4v5 most of the game, as Witch J is there. Going to maybe see Hannah Montana going down, though the stun does come out. Seraphine is incredibly low, and the red team does get this Drake.
It looks like Mia was able to almost find the pick onto the Seraphine. You see the Unleash Power, the Syndra ult used there, but doesn't quite pick up the kill just yet. She doesn't quite have her Ludens in yet, or whichever of the items that she's gone for. It's the Andrews, isn't there, with the Codex? So yeah,
you got to with the Mundo, right? The Mundo Alistair, you've got to go for some sort of like longevity burner, because the Ludens, you're going to maybe get the Seraphine, even the Kennen's going to be tankier as they go through the build. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to kill. Stride Break on the Rex side means that, you know, the extra health and the tankiness. So the Landry's now finished at 18 minutes. It's quite a late one where you see Kennen is already finishing that pretty much on the way to the second item, which looks to be going towards that Shadow Flame.
Yeah, for sure. Great Hex Flash. 1, 2, knock up. They know there's no flash in the mid laner. There's no ult. There's no way for her to potentially get one back. Kennen. Stun, Shuriken.
Maybe not knowing Kane's here though, and the Vel'Koz is on their way.
Ooh. Kennen does have the ult though, but it doesn't matter. Taken down by the Yorick,
came out, and bot lane seems to be an absolute crow storm as well, as Inter does go down. Milkyard does get the rampage, but the second tower shot.
Wow. A cacophony of crows coming out in the bot lane. Is able to pick up the kill, but unfortunately not enough for Crowstorm just yet. However, it's good that Team Meowie, they're getting these kills back on the board, although the map is starting to run away with them a little bit. But we now see this Yorick 2-1. The Triforce is in. Didn't opt for the Sundra this game. The Mundo isn't big enough of a threat. The Alistair, certainly a tanky boy right now, but let's see how much pressure this Yorick can exert on the map, because this right now is their power point.
I'd say it's a pretty even game, and they're kind of playing it in two halves. Obviously, the Yorick is pushing the top side. That Mundo's been bot side quite a lot. Baron is about to come up in the play, but Milkyard going down towards this Kane. Kane is doing a lot of damage here. 4-4. The junglers both really playing their parts, and I've got a funny feeling it's going to be kind of like the MFO in the semi-final. If that Vel'Koz can get something huge off as the Swain comes in, the slow coming out, or Mia gets a nice stun in, Yorick gets a cage in, that's a lot of damage to come down as. That's a Q missed we just saw in Flatgirl. Are they fluctuating in the final?
Interesting. I mean, We also see from the Kane has now picked up the Hex Drinker as well, really prioritizing that survivability against these big bursts of AP damage which are coming out from the cannon. Obviously, we know that as Seraphine gets later into the game, hey, listen, Seraphine late game, you do not sleep on it. This champion puts out damage later on. So it's really good to see that the Kane is taking some precautionary measures, just wanted to ensure that he can stay alive, get his ult off, but we are going to probably need to see him move towards the Black Cleaver at some point
As we get
to deal with this other stuff.
Oh, great ult there, using the extra bit of Zulu coming through. That means Josh is now down. We're saying some of the main damage, but they need to try and get in as Inter does get onto that Kane. Kane is now ignited as well. The healing isn't going to come out. Double stun coming out. There's a double kill on for Milkyard as well. The Crow isn't going to go down too easy with that ultimate, but Flat Girl says, what are you on about? I have my slicing Maelstrom. I'm going to slice that down, but Lazy Tail is taking tower damage because the Maiden is actually just sitting there hitting Witch J, and Witch J does go down.
Oh, Solo Bolo in the bot lane. That is the power of the Maiden. That is... Wow. Okay, so it looks like Turtle and Zulu are going to be the main focal points of this Meowie team, and as Meowie herself looks like she's going to go. No, she flashes away.
She does flash away. Maybe could have saved that. I know she won't be happy with the fact that she flashed it, but knowing the ult wasn't up for either the Kennen or the Rek'Sai, so maybe just respecting it a bit. There's still a flash up on the Kennen, not really used, but it's a really good team fight in the mid. But again, Yorick Hullbreaker now finished. It's going to be a pain in the backside of Team Dino. Constantly going to be split pushing, and now they know they can beat. As you're going to see a Spectre's Cow and a Bramble Vest, not really a full item finished on this Mundo.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hodgepodge going on here with some of the item components that are coming through. Obviously, we spoke about the Kane, who's now actually finished the Maw of Malmortius, which is something which I did not expect. I would have thought that you would perhaps just sit on the Hex Drinker as an unfinished component, finish it up later. But clearly, the Zulu has felt that the MR is necessary as the fight breaks out.
Oh, it's a big slice in Maelstrom, and Inter's going to go in that as well. The Seraphine, unfortunately, not timed exactly well, and the Kane is slippery as anything, but Witch J is just trying to go in, throw a few Qs, maybe get the Hex, maybe get those Heartsteel stacks. Maybe get a die here as well, though.
Now the re-engage, and this is the thing, right? Once the Slicing Maelstrom is used, once the Seraphine ult is used, once all of that initial damage comes through, if Maori's team is not dead, then they can look for the re-engage as they did there, and they did so beautifully. And yeah, as you've just pointed out, Lazy Turtle exerting so much pressure with this split push. It's so annoying trying to deal with split push when you're trying to fight elsewhere on the map, and I think it just goes to show that Team Dino has once again stuck to its kind of core, playing that jungle mid duo, and Team Meowie is playing its own style with the focus towards top.
It's not going down, taking a bit of a fight there. The slight Milk is maybe going to go down here. First of all, just needs one Q. Bong 350 over, nearly gets a second.
Whoa!
Someone go check this guy's rank. We saw Lazy Turtle was the bronze player, but Jesus Christ, that was some top play.
And what a fantastic passage of play there from Lazy Turtle. The Hullbreaker resistances coming through huge, making it so difficult. Even though the Rek'Sai is sitting on the Black Cleaver, really hard to take this guy down. So much of Team Meowie's gold, you look at, they have a 1.5 gold lead despite the fact that they're 3 kills down. So much of this gold is going to be in that Yorick's back pocket, and it looks like the rest of the team is looking to make the play onto the Baron.
This is a little bit of a free, but that's a big ultimate coming out from Seraphine, but the Vel'Koz is still there as well. Going to put a huge amount of damage down, as you just say. Crow does go down. Inter is still alive. Going to chuck Seraphine in the right way there. Kersey, make sure you walk the right way, but gets slowed down by the Vel'Koz. I'd say the Baron was a little bit of a weird shout, but the TP bot side, Yorick's just going to go for the end. They have to respect this. Mira is not going to be happy with that. Milk, what are you doing? You're going to follow them down, does? What is going on? Just carnage suddenly happening.
So, Beanie, it appears that this game has devolved into what we in the business like to call a clown fiesta. That is a cruel cage put around the hamster, put back in its cage, made to run on the wheel, and spin them as it, uses the slicing maelstrom to no avail. This game, right now, looked so good early for Team Dino, but right now for Team Meowie, the sheer amount of pressure this Yorick is putting out on the map, this Yorick cannot be matched. He is unleashed.
Look at that farm as well. We said about it early on. 260, just there, free farming absolutely everything. Over 100 farm. Look at the gold. 13k earned compared to 8k on that Mundo. 5k gold is just sitting in between those guys. That's just insane.
And I want to give kudos to this Team Meowie bot lane. Obviously, we're going to ignore what happened at the end of the last fight. But Crowstorm and Josh lands a beautiful Vel'Koz ult, absolutely shreds through the team. Although unfortunately he flew a little bit close to the sun. Icarus just has to flash out there.
A little bit weird. Oh, Milk is all by themselves. Does it get the Slicing Maelstrom does come out as well. Maybe going to get the second as Crow looks to go down, but the healing is just too much as the K now comes into the party. And you can say this is GG as Yorick is sitting in the base on the tower. Unfortunately, the Mundo has been no match for this, and the final is pretty much going to go down to this. The ult going to try and come use, but this Yorick is just so strong. Level 17 against 13 Mundo. Going to queue it down. That is GG to Team Maui. That suddenly just turned on a head.
Gee. Wow.
Congratulations to team member Meowie Mia. That was we saw the semi-final. It was such a clean game, right? It was insanely clean from Team Dino and the guys with Milk, etc. But that was an incredibly close game. I said we were in for an absolute killer, and then suddenly just it came out of nowhere, and it's on this Yorick. Okay, Lazy Turtle we thought was potentially going to play that Milio, but no, went top lane against Jay, which is gold, if I remember rightly. Jay's a gold, so playing incredibly well. 13k gold, 234 on CS. This Swain Vel'Koz bot lane wasn't there or thereabouts, but the Seraphine unfortunately did bits but couldn't do much. But look at that damage, 26k sitting there on the Yorick alone.
Yep, and as I sort of motioned towards the end of that game, it really was a tale of two game plans, right? We saw on Milk's team that once again they were trying to run that mid jungle combo with the Alistar with the roaming support, but then it doesn't matter because it's Yorick season, baby. Lazy Turtle got so much gold. So Meowie's team was so far behind. I'm pretty sure they had objective bounties as well up, right? So Lazy Turtle, just goes.
Think so, yeah.
Oh, objective bounties on a Yorick is for me
and Hullbreaker.
Of Hullbreaker, knocks those towers down, gets the gold into the back pocket, gets the Hullbreaker, becomes an unstoppable death ball, and at that point, it's down to Meowie's team just to try and ride it out. I think that the more itemization choice from the Kayn, maximal survivability, keeping that healing was so crucial. There are so many times where the Slicing Maelstrom comes through, the Kayn is taken to a modicum of health. He's able to get the ult off, the heal off, the gourd drinker value was insane because there were obviously so many members sort of piling in on Milk's side. And just really smart itemization options there. And of course, just really well played to their win conditions. So absolute kudos to Team Meowie for the win today.
Incredible work by both games we watched. We saw an incredibly clean 5-man, and then that incredibly clean 5-man kind of have a totally swing on a different game plan and something that, again, these guys may not play together as a 5 again because these teams are fully thrown together. Now, I may not be playing next week. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure. I've got a lot going on, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be here for it, unfortunately. But if you guys want to be a part of it, Discord, get in the TGH Discord. League is not dead. Guys,
League is not dead. We are cooking. League 1, baby. Cooking. We are cooking. Every day, we are constantly doing customs, the weekly skirmish. We are cooking up something big. So be sure, discord.gg/TGH, I believe is the link. Or, as Speedy said, Exclamation
See you
mark
in the Twitch
TGH in the chat.
Yeah,
And we'll
it's
s-
been a
and we'll see you
huge
then.
game. Huge, good. Aaron, thanks so much, guys. Hats off to Aaron. First time coming in, but I think you've watched so many of it, you know exactly what to do. There was no need to be nervous for this one coming in. It's been an absolute pleasure, my guy. Thank you very much for stopping by with myself. If you guys want to be a part of it, come and see us next week. It's going to be super, super fun, and I can't wait to get on. Again, we got the Valorant skirmishes on a Monday, and we do FE and MG customs as well. So there's a bit of everything. I said Dungeons and Dragons coming up again.
Yeah,
on
we've got
Thursday
some
soon as
D&D
well.
up in there. You know, we do a bit of this, a little bit of that. We keep it spicy.
We're cooking everything. So guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week on the Rift.
Take care.
Tonight, when the water meets the sky, we'll be alright. The world we left behind. The world we knew just started changing. The world we had just broke apart. We were bound at the start, now you're tearing me apart. And I'm the one to start the fight from once upon a time. Will I just keep floating away?